evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, June 18th City Council. As always, we are streaming live on City Madison YouTube channel and archiving it there for later viewing. We'll start with the Lord's Prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll get into tonight's business. Thanks.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Here.
Microphone. Yeah, there we go.
Patrick Chevenel.
Here.
Carly Krebs.
Here.
Lucy DiTillo, absent. Joshua Schaefer.
Here.
Joel Storm.
Here.
Jim Bartlett.
Here.
Josh Wilbur. Absent.
Thank you. Council, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes from the last meeting dated June the 4th? If so, we'll entertain a motion to approve said minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right. Council, are there any reports, recommendations, or other business from standing or select committees of council? Hearing none, we'll move right into tonight's business with Emily. On economic development, we have two matters: riverfront liquor license request for Vintage Lanes, followed by tax abatement compliance review.
Good evening, Council. I have before you a liquor license application for Vintage Lanes. They are applying for the cultural experience venue designation, which that will be our third for the liquor license. And for them, that is different than the restaurant, basically meaning they have to meet the state capacity requirements, which is 125 people, and they have to have the minimum food requirements, which you see on the menu in their packet. Dan is also here to give you kind of a brief overview and kind of tell you what they're thinking. But in the packet, you'll see their site plans, all of their ownership information, and the other three. This will mean our cultural experience venue is maxed out at 3. You guys can allow us to give more than that out of the 10 if you would like moving forward. Our other 3 that are taken up are by restaurants is Red on Main, Rivertown Grill, and River Oak Chop House. And those are under the restaurant designation. For the cultural experience, it is Red Bike and the Ohio Theater. And so when we established this, we did 10 licenses, and you guys granted 3 of those being the cultural experience designation. So if you approve Vintage Lanes, then that would cap all 3 of those out. And so then that would leave the 7 for restaurants.
Emily, is the 10 a state cap or just a city cap?
It is a city cap.
Let's move into the presentation for Vintage Lanes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
I'm Daniel Chandler, and I'm here to apply for the liquor license for Vintage Lanes. So Vintage Lanes is a high-end wine bar and duck pin bowling combo. It'll be at the corner of Jefferson and 2nd Street.
Tell us a little bit, Dan, about the restoration going on with that building, and what to expect when it's completed.
Yeah, so we're looking at completion at early 2025, maybe late fall at best. But currently we're restoring the building with the help of our contractor, Brian Martin. So we're restoring the entire building. We're investing quite a bit of money and trying to keep its historical value, trying to partner with the city of Madison, partner with the rest of the businesses here that are local, and the community as a whole.
Dan, will the children be allowed there?
Yes, yes, so it'll be a family event center. So we will have, so it'll be a wine bar on one side, duck pin bowling, 2 stories of duck pin bowling. Then we'll also have a rooftop patio and then a speakeasy in the basement. It'll be for all ages.
Do you have, do you know what the capacity you're looking for this building to hold?
Yeah, so based on, we can easily exceed 200 people.
Oh,
I'm
God,
sorry.
I was gonna ask, where's the closest duck pin bowling to Madison? If you've not experienced it, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. Cincinnati, there's one in downtown Cincinnati and then also in Indy as well.
Can you kind of elaborate a little more on the duck pin bowling and kind of what excited you about, having that idea and kind of give us a little insight into that, please?
Yeah, so duck pin bowling is actually historic. I mean, it originated in early 1900s and then kind of lost a little bit of its flair, and it's been coming back. So it's been hugely popular in Cincinnati. If you've ever heard of like Pins, mechanical, that they have kind of a similar concept. So they have food, they have beer, wine, liquor, and then the duck pin bowling. So duck pin bowling is kind of like it's a shortened version of bowling. So the lanes are shorter, so you're looking at about 35 feet, and instead of rolling big bowling balls, they're smaller, they're handheld, and you get 3 tries instead of 2. You don't have to wear shoes, it's much more approachable, it's family friendly, it's a good atmosphere, and we think it'd be a really good fit for Madison.
There's duck pin at Bottle Works in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
and very, very fun, and as you said, very family friendly.
Yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned the rooftop patio area, you're gonna have a basement bar?
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be a speakeasy. It'll be like natural stone walls, stamped concrete floor, very kind of cool vibe.
Are you anticipating doing music or anything?
Yeah. So we plan on having live music there. So a very intimate setting.
Okay.
So in addition to it being a restoration, you're bringing in another business to Madison that's unique.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the investment you've made in the Chandler Hotel, which was recently awarded the Dottie Reindaler Award for historic preservation. And everything I've seen so far, this is gonna be very phenomenal for Madison.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It's a lot of hard work and dedication, and the city's given us so much. We just want to give back too. So.
And just so you know, he's already gone through historic district board of review for your restoration plans. And I don't think there were any zoning issues, were there? Was there conditional use that you needed?
The zoning was actually changed, and so we're
Okay.
good there. And we've met with ATC to be in regulation with as far as separation goes. So yeah,
I see, planning on November opening date?
that's what we're shooting for. So tentative, late fall, early 2025.
Okay.
Will this license allow liquor to be brought between the bars and the bowling lanes,
Yeah.
or
So
through
they're
the
2
whole?
separate buildings, but they're connected.
Okay.
So the license will cover everything.
Okay.
This project really lights up Second Street there at the corner of Jefferson and moving on down Second Street. So I think it brings a lot to the Second Street corridor.
Yeah, we're really excited. I think, we're really trying to revitalize Second Street as a whole, from the Chandler Hotel all the way down, and just continue that growth.
Maybe this is a question for the council, but how does that work with 2 addresses on the same permit? Does it matter? Does that complicate things, or not a problem?
It's one building. Yeah, so same corridor.
Single parcel.
Like a duplex?
Uh,
It's not, but you know what I mean, like a duplex would be.
yeah, it's a warehouse connected to a federal style building.
Is it one parcel, though? One
Yeah,
tax?
see, so addresses only deal with 911, frankly. They don't have anything to do with parcels. So, he should be fine.
What are the considerations for parking and stuff, overflow, or how do you think, that'll be handled or can be accommodated?
Well, there's quite a bit of parking along Jefferson Street. There's a parking lot, public parking lot across the street, and then also the new parking lot, on
Mulberry,
Mulberry. Yep.
it's one of the few places that has very, very ample parking nearby.
And that's kind of why we chose it.
Yeah, it's a good location for what could be a pretty, hopefully a busy
Yeah.
business, because that lot on Jefferson and Second's hardly used as it is, so.
Win-win. Using a local contractor, bringing a new business to town, and investing in our city. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you. Council, any other questions? Not, we'll entertain a motion to approve a liquor license from the Riverfront Development District allocation for Vintage Lanes.
I move to approve the Riverfront liquor license request as submitted for Vintage Lanes.
I second that.
Any discussion? Any comments or questions? Hearing none, do a roll call vote. Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Microphone. Sorry.
That's okay. Lucy DiTillo is absent. Joshua Schaefer,
Yes.
Joel Storm,
Yes.
Jim Bartlett,
Yes.
and Josh Wilbur's absent.
Perfect. Thank you, council. And thank you so much for your investment, and we look forward to seeing the progress.
Thank you.
Yeah. Emily, let's move on to the tax abatement compliance review.
Good evening again, council. I have in the front of your packet, I tried to compile the easiest way for you all to look at our 6 tax abatements and be able to kind of visually see the requirements and be able to visually see their compliance. All 6 have been reviewed by the Economic and Redevelopment Department and are believed to be in substantial compliance for 2024. I have it broken down on your sheet by each company and compared it to their initial estimate versus their actual. You will see that a lot of them blew their initial out of the water, so.
I might just add, this is an annual compliance test. Many of these abatements were done several years ago, as you can
Yes.
see. Some is for personal property, a couple are for real
Yes.
property. And after we ratify the substantial compliance, it'll be sent over to the assessor's office so that the 2024 taxes payable in 2025 will qualify for the abatements that have been approved previously by council. Fortunate to have these businesses in our community making these sizable investments.
Do we need a motion to
I was
approve
gonna ask
this,
if
or?
there's any question. We do need a motion
questions?
to approve the compliance for the abatements as presented.
I move we approve the abatements.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the compliance of the approved abatements. Any discussion? Comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call.
Sure. Patrick Chevanah,
Yes.
Carla Krebs,
Yes.
Lucy DiTillo is absent. Joshua Schaefer,
Yes.
Joel Storm,
Yes.
Jim Bartlett,
Yes.
Josh Wilbur's absent.
Josh, do you
Okay,
feel
we
like
added
you should abstain
Sorry.
with regard to
On.
Grody?
I suppose so. Do we want to redo that?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So
Do we need
I-
to move?
With regard to the
Yeah.
Grody abatements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do
motion
another
that we,
roll call on that. Thanks for catching that.
Sure.
Sorry.
So he actually had seconded the motion.
Did you
so-
somebody
what-
submitted an amended motion?
Yeah, why don't we,
How about I move
Start over.
for someone else to make a second on the motion?
I think let's just withdraw, withdraw the motion, we'll just redo it.
I move to withdraw the previous motion.
Yeah, okay. And,
I'll second that.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so now we're back to square one.
I move, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I move to make a motion, we approve the, abatement as listed.
And I'll second.
Except,
No,
I
you-
can say Grody, cause I'm not, I know, you
You
just
can
don't
do them
vote.
all, and then we'll get a different second, and you abstain from voting.
Okay,
You want me to list the businesses individually?
Relative
no,
to-
you don't have to.
Okay.
So,
All right, the
got a
movement
motion on the
stands.
floor to approve the, compliance for the 2024 tax abatements. Is
I'll
there-
second.
All right, and we'll do a roll call vote now.
Absolutely. Patrick Trevino.
Yes.
Carla Krebs.
Yes.
Lucy DeTillo's absent. We're gonna abstain with Joshua Schaefer.
Yep.
And Joel Storm,
Yes.
Jim Bartlett,
Yes.
Josh Wilbur's absent.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on, no bills on third reading. I'll turn it over to Joe for second reading of ordinance 2024-5. Thanks, Emily.
This is ordinance number 2024-5, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, establishing the Indiana Destination Development Corporation Grant Control Fund. Okay. Are there any comments or questions with regard to this? Mary, you want to talk about what it is? Or
Did you read?
Emily,
Did you read the title of the document?
let's read the title, yeah.
Oh, it's, as we presented at the last meeting, it is a acceptance of a grant from the Indiana Destination Development Corporation for public art and the creation of a control fund for receipt of this grant and future grants.
I would move that we waive the rules and move on to third reading.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll move on to third reading. Ordinance number 2024-5, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, establishing the Indiana Destination Development Corporation Grant Control Fund. And we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Sure, so Patrick Trevino,
Yes.
Carla Krebs,
Yes.
Lucy DeTillo absent, Joshua Schaefer,
Yes.
Joel Storm,
Yes.
Jim Bartlett,
Yes.
and Josh Wilbur's absent.
Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Approved.
Thank you.
Moving on, no miscellaneous. If there's anybody here who'd like to make a public comment to the mayor's office or city council, please come to the podium with your name and address and what your statement may be.
Hi, Lisa Ferguson, 718 East Second Street. I was able to casually talk to Tony Steinhardt about a concern that has come to our attention in the last 10 days. You can see I've become a Crystal Beach pool girl. There's, like everything else we're dealing with, we have this great influx of things going on in town. But I'll concede to Mindy after I tell you my concerns and a little story. What happened to me a couple times going to Crystal Beach, because I brought it up at Board of Public Works yesterday at Tony's request, just to bring it to y'all's attention. And then Mindy kind of didn't get to finish, and I really wanted to hear from her more than my questions. So, we've had a lot of traffic because of Crystal Beach opening. It's been amazing and awesome, but there's not sidewalks and a good way to pass safely to get from point A to point B. That new parking lot is great, but there's not, everybody's parking right in front of Kiwanis, so you have to walk it to the street to be able to get over to the pool. I was 4 golf carts behind a couple of cars on Friday, and some people that I've met, Larry and Elaine Risk, were hit by a car on their golf cart. They were on the golf cart, but it was like the perfect storm. There was delivery for Weinstein and Barrel. There was delivery for the restaurant, the Lighthouse. There was just a lot going on. The guys were working down on the landscaping. There was a lot of people on at that time. And a car tried to go around both of the trucks that were delivering, and when he tried to go around, he was met with somebody else coming towards him. So he immediately put it in reverse and didn't look back. So when he backed up into Larry and Elaine's golf cart. So I'm thinking I'm going to be a witness to the police for an accident report, but they were so shook up they just said, it's okay, we're going on home, and they left. So, that was okay because they're okay. There was also another lady, I was at the pool one day last week, and it was a lot of people. She had parked over at the visitor center at that lower parking lot over there on Vine, but y'all know there's not sidewalks on Vine to get from the visitor center down to Vaughn Drive either. So she had a big, wheelie that they all have, the wagons, and two little 6-year-old twin girls, and I could see her stress, and I was like, if you'll trust me, I'm a retired teacher, I'll get them where they need to go, and I'll wait with them until you make it over there safely. So the girls got on the golf cart with me, and I sat and waited till she got over there. But that whole area, it's great, and we love having the pool open, but there's a lot of things we got to do to get the sidewalks and passage and make it safer, because there's a lot of kids, and there's a lot of people my age too. So when I brought that up at Board of Public Works, I knew Mindy was already churning, I've got the plan, I know what's going on and stuff. So I really want her to be able to just get up here and explain to us what we're gonna do next to try to make it a better, safer area. And I know it won't be done this summer, but, at least get it to where we're talking about what else can be done, because there's not safe passage right now on Vaughn, and we know it's already a racetrack. So there you go. Thanks, Mindy.
Thank you. If you want to, sure.
So when we originally started doing some of the infrastructure around the pool project, we looked at putting a sidewalk there. We redid the sidewalk alongside of the pool, and it honestly got to the point where we had to choose which was more important at the time, because it's very expensive. And to go across the front of the Kiwanis wall was, I think it was over $100,000 to do just that section. Plus we're gonna lose parking by putting sidewalks there. So it's kind of weighing, what you can do, what you can't do. Not saying that we can't put together a long-term plan for doing that. And in terms of just addressing Vaughn Drive speeding, we are doing that. Yesterday at Board of Works, I let them know that we are sort of putting together a shopping list of temporary speed bumps, temporary speed tables. We can move those around wherever critical points are that we're having an issue. Looking at putting stop signs in new places on Vaughn Drive. There's temporary rumble strips that we can look at. There's all kinds of things that I'm sort of shopping for right now to use some of our budget dollars to see if we can address some of those critical areas. And all I can say on sidewalks is we are working really, really hard to create new sidewalks where they need to be, where they never were put in for 200 years. It's just always more expensive to go back and do it after the fact, as you know. So.
Excuse me, just to keep protocol here. During the conversation here, if you want to make additional remarks, please come to the podium so we can capture it all up here. But that's.
Yeah. So Carla and I were discussing how easy it seemed to be if we, the south side of Vaughn where the sidewalks are, if we could put a crosswalk just straight across, so at least people get some visual of, if I make it to that point, I can get to the pool. And that would be really cheap, like paint or something. Right. If we could just do that, that'll at least be a visual that there's a passageway up there.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and I would just add this, that it's not quite that simple because the crosswalks have to go from one point to another, and there has to be accessibility considerations. We spent a lot of time internally here talking about the safety in that area. There's a tremendous amount of activity between Brown Gym, the pool, Bicentennial Park, the lighthouse, the overlook, or the point over there, the super overlook. There's tremendous amount of activity and a lot of vehicular activity with pedestrians. And there are some, short-term solutions that we can do, but the best thing right now is for people to be safe and aware of their surroundings when they're going to any of those places. And sometimes the safest route isn't the shortest route. And I'll just mention that there, which is there are safe ways to get to where you're going. It may not be the shortest route, and I think most people want the shortest distance and the most convenience and the sidewalks everywhere for us, but we're always playing catch up. We're constantly playing catch up, and we're in the process now of updating our asset management plan for sidewalks because it's been a few years since we did that, and we've made a lot of investment in our sidewalks as well as specifically our ADA accessibility, and that's the thing that we always have to be mindful too. And there are some there's some interdiction methods we can have. We're speaking about those with the chief on what to do on Bond Drive to slow things down. So there will be some tactics happening over the course of the summer, but a lot more long-range planning has to go into place when you decide to just put a sidewalk down. And there are lots of areas that don't have sidewalks, but there's lots of sidewalks out there that are impassable that have to also be repaired. They have to be repaired, and we're doing that.
I wanted to follow up on the crosswalk thing too on Bond Drive, because that's true, and we've talked about that. It's just that along with crosswalks, if it's not at a traffic signal, then you gotta add lighted flashing signage, so then you're sort of cluttering up the riverfront. So we just have to take everything into consideration when
Curb
we're,
ramps, they have to go
Yeah.
from one place to another.
Right.
It is a planning exercise, but in the meantime, people just need to be really safe about their surroundings. It sounded like that golf cart accident had nothing to do with the pool. It was somebody that was, not watching how they were backing up. But please be careful. We had almost 6,000 people at the pool its first week. We've been averaging about 800 a day. We had great attendance at Music in the Park, phenomenal attendance last Saturday at Weinstein Barrel. The gym is always in use, and we have a beautiful riverfront, so that's a good thing, but everybody has to be careful. Any other public comments for us?
Debbie Beeman, 709 Walnut Street. I've been to the pool a couple of times, and I love it. If you all haven't been down there, you need to get down there. I've not had any issues with parking, and I've not had any issues with walking. I mean, I know with golf carts, it's a whole different thing sometime. I saw some kids the other day going the wrong direction on 3rd Street going like this. So, that's just a whole different ballgame. But I love the pool, and I've had no issues. Next thing, I did the garden tour on Saturday. I was a volunteer, and it was packed, and it was hot. I mean, y'all, it was hot out there. And we had I was shocked. We had so many people from so many other places. I couldn't believe it. I didn't run into anybody from Madison. They were Louisville, Muncie, Bloomington, Shelbyville. I'm trying to think of all we had so many people, y'all, from so many other places who told me how much they love Madison. So I just wanted to say, that's great, ain't it? Come on, y'all. I'm usually complaining. Let's go. All right, that's it.
Debbie and Lisa, thank you both for your comments. Anyone else? And you're right, the garden tour was very busy in the pool as well. Have you gone down the slide yet, Debbie?
Yeah, right. Tammy and I were there, and he said, go down the slide, you two. Go down the slide. It's like, yeah, as if. I might try it, though.
You should try it. Any other public comments? For both of those. Moving on, I was going to mention the garden tour. Thank you, Debbie, for doing that. I was also going to mention just a celebration a week or so ago at the Port Authority, ribbon cutting for the new businesses that are coming to Madison that are rail related and operating out of our transload facility. That's been phenomenal. And then, as you know, City Hall is closed tomorrow, as is Hanover and Jefferson County. And then this weekend there are Juneteenth celebrations. So if you have an opportunity to get around town to celebrate those, I'll be reading a proclamation, I think at the picnic on Sunday, relative to Juneteenth. I will stop there. Our next meeting is Tuesday, July the 2nd at 5:30. That basically means we're almost to Regatta Week. Oh, that is Regatta Week. Can you believe that? Phenomenal. Great things happening all around town. Enjoy Madison. Council, I'll turn it over to you. Got the floor. Anything you'd like to add?
Go ahead. No, I was gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Who's it seconded?
Okay, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, second.
Done and done. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you, council. Thank you, everybody here tonight.